Well, hello, my friends. Welcome back to the second episode of Chris Chat. Now, as you can see, I don't have any fancy graphics or intro music, but if any of my techie friends out there could whip me up a smart little intro, that would be great. And hopefully it will be free because you love me. And get back to me on that so that maybe episode 3 might have a smart little opening. So the first episode of Chris Chat was quite the success. It was a smash, if you must know. But I did get a few comments that it was too long, that it went almost 20 minutes and people were tuning out or turning me off and changing the channel, if you will. Billy Stritch, Billy Masters, all the Billies, they all told me it was too long. So I'm going to make tonight's episode shorter, and hopefully you'll all stay for the whole episode. And in fact, tonight's episode was originally called How Do You Solve a Problem Like Oprah Winfrey? And then I decided to change it because I'm the only one that doesn't like Oprah. I can't stand her. You all love her. You all think she's wonderful. And so that episode would have gone very long. So I decided to change it. And I do want to say one thing about Oprah. When she cries, it's so fake. I mean, that's all I'm going to say. It's fake. I've been to a couple of the shows when I lived in Chicago, and I saw how they do it, and they do the close-ups of her. I saw one show with Bette Midler singing. There were more shots of Oprah in the audience, wind beneath my wings, mouthing the words, wind beneath, and then crying, oh, wind beneath my wings. She's a fake, and I'll prove it to you. All right, so let's see. Right here is where she starts. She closes her eyes, and she says, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. And then over here is where her lips start quivering. And she's like, and then down here, she's like, Gail, please get me a tissue. And then she starts dabbing her eyes. And then here is where she starts full-fledged crying. And the mascara runs and ugh, whatever. I'm not gonna say another word about it. I'm really not. I'll say one more thing. She left her show. She was making millions of dollars. Everyone was drinking her Kool-Aid. They were watching her every day. And when she interviewed guests, a guest would say, well, then I drove down the highway and, I went off the ledge and crashed. And then she always has to put herself in the conversation. Well, I remember the time that I rode down the highway and I went off and crashed through the rails and whatever. So I will say that she leaves her show, a successful show, because she wants to start a network. The network fails. Then she goes over to Starbucks and starts selling tea. That sucked. That failed. And now she's got her clutches in Weight Watchers. Now, she's doing these commercials. One of them was like, honey child. And then she tweets that she eats bread. She loves bread. And that she eats it every day. And she still lost like 100 pounds. And that you can do that too. And you know what? From that tweet, she made $12 million because she owns part of Weight Watchers. $12 million. Mind you, she's a billionaire. Okay, see, so now I'm just sounding like I'm whining and complaining and petty. So I'm not going to say another word about Oprah, not another word. All right, so I changed the topic for tonight's episode to fake Rosie O'Donnell crashes a birthday party in Chicago on New Year's Eve. Now, who's fake Rosie O'Donnell? Well, that would be me. I dressed up like Rosie O'Donnell to surprise my friends, Joe and Mike, on Mike's birthday, which was December 31st, New Year's Eve. So I got on a train and I went 28 hours from Boston to Chicago to surprise them. I said I wasn't coming to the party. They said, oh, we're having this big party for Mike. and it's going to be in this fancy hotel on Michigan Ave, and all our gay friends are going to be there, and oh, can't you come? Can't you come out? I said, oh no, I can't. Now I knew I was going to go because I wanted to surprise them, and it was a gay party, and Rosie O'Donnell was on The View, and she was very popular, and she was out and everything. So I thought I'm going to dress up like Rosie O'Donnell. So I went to the hotel. I talked to the manager, and I said, can you please bring me up near their room? Is there a place where I can change? He said, well, you can change in the stairwell. So I said, all right, great. And he was like, this is so funny. And then he asked if he could take a picture of me, and I said, well, not yet, but later. So he leaves me in the stairwell, and I know where the room is, and I could hear them because their door was cracked open. They had that thing on there because I think they were waiting for ice or something, someone to bring something from room service. So I'm just like getting dressed, and I'm like so excited because I'm going to go over there, and I'm going to just push the door open, and they are going to die. They're all going to laugh, and it's going to be the funniest thing that I ever did in my life. So I get all dressed up, and this is what I looked like. This is me. This is Rosie O'Donnell. And I had the little View cup I made, the mug. And then over here I got all these buttons. I went to like a gay store, and there was like, I'm a lesbian, and I'm proud, and fuck yeah, and all this other stuff. So this is me. I go, I push the door open, and I say, whose fucking birthday is it anyway? And I look around, and I see children. I see children. I see 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7, 8, I don't know. They were little kids. I see their mothers putting their hands over the kids' ears because I had just said, whose fucking birthday is it? So you could have heard crickets. And I just froze. And then I heard Mike or Joe say, Chris? And I went, yeah, it's me. And they walked over, and they just looked at me and kind of laughed nervously because, hello, there's all these kids. I said, what's going on? And Mike goes, what do you mean? And I said, where are the gays? I thought this was going to be a gay party. And he said, oh, we changed it. We changed it to a family party. And I just went, are you fucking kidding me? I said, why didn't you tell me? And then Joe says, well, you said you weren't coming. Ugh. I said, I know, I surprised you. And Mike says, well, this is a surprise, all right. I said, I gotta change. He goes, yeah, it's probably best if you did. So that was no more. I went into the bathroom and I changed. I came back out as me, as a boy, and I hear this little kid, this little boy, he says, or girl, I don't remember. They said, Mommy, where's that big mean lady? And the mother just kind of looks at me and she says to the kid, oh, she's gone, honey. Don't worry. She's not coming back. Oh my God, it was one of the worst nights of my life. I stayed for about 15 minutes after that, and I said, I gotta go. And Mike and Joe said, oh, come on, stay. I go, no, I'm not staying. I'm not staying. Was one of the worst things ever. So I left, I went back to my hotel, and the next day I took the train home. So that's it. So, well, I think I have a couple minutes left, so I do want to talk to you about a couple other things. The first is that I went to a restaurant the other day, and it happened again. It's called Just One. And so I walk in, and the hostess looks at me, and she says, just one? And I said, yeah, just one. And she said, right this way. Why do they have to do that? Why can't they just say, one for dinner, one for lunch? Just one? Just one. Just one pathetic person with no one else. And I've heard other hostesses say, only one? Only one. Only one. Ugh. The last thing I want to talk about is I went to the dog park with Johnny the other day, and this woman came up to me, and she was looking at Johnny, and she's like, "Oh my God, he's so cute. He's so cute. You know, I have one just like him at home." And I said, "Oh, that's great." She goes, "Well, he's really my daughter's dog, but you know, we love him. You know, he's not as fat as your dog." So I didn't say anything because I'm new to the pack. I don't want to cause any problems. I don't want them to not like me. But boy, did I want to say something. Why would you say that? Why would you say he's not as fat as yours? Why don't you say he's not as big as yours? Or, I don't know. But it's the same thing if a woman went into a grocery store and she walked up to a lady, and had a kid in her cart, and she's pushing the cart, and then the woman says, "Oh, isn't he cute? He's adorable. You know, I have a little boy at home just like him, but he's not as fat as your little boy." It's the same thing. He's not as fat. So I don't like that. And if you see me and Johnny, it's the same thing. It's like the blepharitis. It's not a sty. It's blepharitis. If you see me and Johnny out and you have a Boston Terrier too, don't call my dog fat. Don't call my dog fat. I don't think he's fat, but don't call him fat. He's sleeping right now. Otherwise, I would show you him. But he's. You know what? I'll show you really quick, and then the show's over. I promise. Come here, Johnny. Come here. Come here. Oh, that's a good boy. Oh, come on. Yes. There. Look. Now he's not fat, is he? No, he's not. He's not fat. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Yes, he is. Okay, so that's it. That's the second episode of Chris Chat. I don't know how long. Oh, God, we went over 12 minutes. All right, I'm sorry. But hopefully you all stayed, and you'll come back for episode 3. Okay? Bye-bye.